Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to Chilltown Hoops. I'm your host, Jermaine. The youngsters call me OG. My friends call me J-Dub. What's happening, guys? How y'all doing this afternoon? Huh? Everything good? Saw a couple of articles on the Steph Curry situation, and it may be something that's bad for business more than anything. And I understand where they're going with it, but Cash, what's up, brother? I understand where they're going with it. And as you guys know, I don't do the gossip thing here. Gossiping is not my thing. It's never been my thing. It'll never be my thing. I do understand. Good, Cam. I do understand the situation at hand, and this could be a little messy and maybe bad for business. And divorce is never a good thing. Where you gotta pick sides, and that's corny. That you gotta pick sides, especially when you're in the public eye. That makes it even worse. So I do have Jabal over Wilt. Yes, I do, sir. You got to pick sides. But I think this is something that's going to be. I think it's going to be handled pretty quickly. I don't think this is something that's going to boil over into the season. I doubt it. So, running good, Cam. How you doing, brother? How you doing? Iber, what's up, man? Everything good? Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. My man OG the Beast, he came up with the idea. He hit me. He was like, "Yo, man, let's see if we could get this thing cracking." And I said, "All right, let's do it." Oh, let's see if we could do it. And we did it. And we'll see how far we can take this thing. We will. And I know I talk a lot of. I got some heat on my top 10 quarterbacks, which I thought was kind of interesting. But a lot of times I go off numbers, I go off the eye test, and I go off what you did head, especially in football in particular. I go off head to head what you did against that guy. So, what's up, Tiki? Running good, brother. Running good. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we could, well, like I said, man, I don't think that that's going to spill over into the season. But, the question that you asked me about my top 5 shooting guards of all time. Well, Jordan, Bryant, Wade, Harden, Drexler. Those are my top 5 shooting guards of all time. Oh. Well, I tell you what, Eli, I think we can win 11 games. On the low end, I think we can win 10 games. It's got what it's going to take to get into the playoffs in the NFC. I think it's going to take as a wild card. I don't know if we could win that division, even though we own the Rams. I think we've beaten them 4 times in the last 5 seasons, and I'm not tripping on them. But I think we can win. If we don't win it, if we win the division, then that goes without saying. But I think we can win 12 games. I do think that. So, favorite city I've ever been to. There's a bunch of cities that I've had a great time in. Athens, Greece was awesome. Um, Dublin, Ireland was awesome. I had a good time in London. I dig Portland. Dallas was cool. I had a good time in Houston. My favorite city? I'm a huge fan of basketball cities, man. And normally when I go to these cities, I go to these cities because I'm either going to a ball game. I'm going to a ball game. I'm going to check the city out. You know, I had a really, despite the rap that Boston gets, I had a really good time in Boston. Boston is my favorite basketball city, no doubt about it. I did going up there. I absolutely did. Oh, let's see what Tiki got. I think you are underrating Reggie Miller. No, I'm not underrating Reggie Miller. You know why I'm not underrating Reggie Miller? In his 18-year career, you know how many times Reggie Miller was an all NBA first or second team performer? 0. In fact, Reggie Miller is not underrated. He's more overrated. Was he good? Absolutely. Reggie Miller was awesome. He wasn't Drexler good, though. He wasn't Wade good. He wasn't Jordan good. He wasn't Bryant good. He was not that good. He was good, though. Oh, he absolutely was really good. But he wasn't those guys good. Mm-mm. He wasn't Ray Allen good. I don't think so. I heard Copenhagen is nice. I caught Jabbar on the other side of his prime. So if you can imagine you catching KG when he was with the Celtics, that was when he first got to the Celtics. That's him on the other side. That's when I caught Jabbar. I caught him on the other side of his prime. So, Ryan, you call her and you ask her, yo, I left 2 bottles of vodka in your car. Those 2 bottles of vodka that I had in your car last night. I was wondering if I can get those. Well, Jillian, I think this is tactical what the Philadelphia 76ers are doing. I think what they're trying to do, I think what the Philadelphia 76ers are trying to do is they're trying to make, first of all, they're asking for outlandish things. You know, they want an all-star and 4 ones. And what they're also doing is they're also, everybody's roster is already set. So it's almost like they're sabotaging this thing. You know, we tried to trade them. I mean, they called up there's a report that they called up Sacramento and they want Fox, Halliburton, and 3 ones. Sacramento ain't doing that. No way is Sacramento doing that. The trade with Golden State, who already backed out, Golden State has made it clear that they're out. The trade with Golden State was the 2 rooks, Kuminga, Moody, and 3 ones. No, you're not doing that. So if you're saying that, Freak, because you said it's about reputation, can you give me somebody that you think over the last, I don't know, let's say 5 years, that's an all-NBA performer that you don't think should have been an all-NBA performer, or an all-star that you don't think should have been an all-star? Because essentially what it sounds to me like is you're going strictly off the eye test. Because I watched Reggie Miller against Clyde Drexler, and he couldn't do nothing with Drexler. 0. I watched Reggie Miller against Ray Allen. He couldn't do anything with him. Nothing. Reggie Miller was a long ball shooter. That's what he was. That's it. No problem, John. Doing what I can, man. Buddy Hield, Halliburton for Simmons. But here's the problem, Dirk. They're going to have to throw some ones in. Mm-hmm. Mike Conley made the All-Star team over Trae Young, De'Aaron Fox, or Colin Sexton. All way better than him by far. They were on better teams. That's the difference. They were definitely on better teams. That is one example. Sure, that's one example. But Mike Conley was, and number one, Mike Conley was an alternate, so he actually didn't make the All-Star team. I don't really do the whole alternate thing. When they pick the All-Star team, these are the guys that they pick. You're a sub. The reason why you're on is because this guy can't play. Not because you're an actual All-Star, but because this guy can't play. So, what was Reggie Miller? What was Reggie Miller then if he wasn't a long ball shooter? That was his game. Well, the fans vote on the first five guys. Absolutely. I was surprised that Trae Young didn't make the All-Star team. I was very surprised at that. He was 25-9. He was 25-9, and in the Eastern Conference, who made the All-Star team in the Eastern Conference? When you talk about players like Trae Young, the guards in the Eastern Conference, guys like Jason Tatum plays small forward. What does Klay have to do with anything? What did Jabbar do better than Wilt? He did it longer. That's the difference. That is the difference right there. When I make arguments about all-time greats, there isn't much separation when you have guys at the same position or have guys who are in the argument of all-time greats. The difference most of the time is I did it longer than you did. That's the difference. Wilt's best was better than Jabbar's best. Wilt's best was better than Jabbar's best. That's a fact. He averaged 30 a game for his career. Jabbar averaged 24 a game for his career. Jabbar just did it longer. Jabbar averaged 30 and 15 for 8 straight seasons. Wilt's the only other guy who can say he can do. The only other guy who say he did that. The only other guy. Wilt changed the game. He changed the landscape. Wilt had Jabbar. He was an unstoppable force. Wilt was too. Wilt was absolutely that. Wilt was an incredible rebounder. Wilt was an incredible scorer. Jabbar kept doing it well into his 30s. Now, Wilt kept doing it, but then he quit. Now, Wilt didn't have to quit. Wilt could have kept going, but he quit. And the difference is Jabbar kept going, and Jabbar kept going at a high level for a long period of time. And I think that's the difference. Kobe was voted on to the All-Star team. That is a fact. He was voted on. What about the other 7 guys, though? Like when you talk about guys getting voted on, what about the other 7 guys? Allen Iverson isn't a shooting guard. Allen Iverson is a guard. I don't have Allen Iverson as a guard. You could say that he was better than Drex, but I don't think he was a guard. I don't think he was a shooting guard. I've said this to you in the past that him and Steph Curry. They're in a different category for me. I don't put Steph Curry and Allen Iverson on the same page. It's all in his head, Chris. All of it. Not some of it or most of it. It's all in his head. It's all in his head. So if that's the case, Teak, so how do we prove it? Because you don't go off of accolades and things like that. So do you just want to take those things out and we're just going to go off the eye. Let's take MVPs out. Let's take all-stars out. Let's take all NBAs. Let's take all defense. Let's just get these guys in the park and let's just go off of what we see. Matter of fact, let's not even keep score. Let's just go off of what we see. Let's do that. How about we do that and see how that works? How though? You just said that all stars and all of that other stuff doesn't matter because it's about popularity. Well, the same notion goes with MVPs. Who votes for the MVP? Who votes for the All Star? Who votes for players? Don't vote for players being All NBA performers, do they? No, they don't. Players don't vote for a guy being an All NBA, all league defender. Players don't do that. So how can we actually have a system where you can judge players correctly? Hmm. I don't know if Dirk's a top 20 player all time. I don't know if he is. Because when I think about top 20 players of all time, let's see: James, Jordan, Jabbar, Chamberlain, Russell, Magic, Bird, Duncan, Lajuan, Diesel, Bryant, Jerry West, Oscar, Steph Curry, Moses Malone, Karl Malone, Doc, Havlicek, Barkley, Kevin Durant. What about Kobe T. Rev? What about him? What about Kobe T. Rev? What about him? Is Khalil Mack better than Myles Garrett? He was already on my list. I got him at 11. Yeah, he's already on my list. I got him at 11. Here we go with this Westbrook and Derrick Rose thing. Russell Westbrook in his prime is better. Derrick Rose was a what if. That's what he is. And that's what he will always be. Myles Garrett is a run stopper also, in addition to Aaron Donald, both being run stoppers. Barkley was a better rebounder. I think Barkley was a better transition player. Barkley was unique in every way. Barkley is a part of the 20,000 point, 10,000 rebound club. Dirk Nowitzki is not. Uh, Barkley lost the MVP in 1989. I'm sorry, 1980, 1990. He lost the MVP to Magic, which is incredible to me because he got more first place votes than Magic. Yet Magic won the league MVP. I thought that was incredible that happened. But um, Myles Garrett is not an edge rusher. Did I say Myles Garrett being an edge rusher? That's not true. I'm just trying to make sense of your point. And you telling me that you don't value accolades. You don't, because that you said you don't value all-star appearances and things like that because it's a popularity contest. So I'm trying to make sense in what exactly it is that you value. How can we determine who is great and who is not great? Are we just going by the eye test? What are we going by? I have 48 in the playoff game. So what does that mean? Does that not mean anything? You can't win it. If you could win the MVP off a popularity contest, there'd be a lot of guys who have won it. So I'm not saying that. I'm just trying to make sense of what this means, man. Because when you guys talk about being like accolades go out the window and those things, I don't understand. I just try to make sense of what that means. I'm in Martin. I'm in TikTok jail. I've been shut down for like a week, almost a week now. So that's why I haven't been doing anything on TikTok. I've been in TikTok jail for like the last week. Yeah, I've been out. I've been out. It's interesting because I still get comments and I still get. Uh, Obviously, my account is still active because I still get comments and I'm still getting followers and things like that. So David Robinson ranks all time. I think he's a top 50 player all time. He's my sixth best center of all time. I got him right behind Shaq. Peak playoff performance, efficiency, longevity is my main criteria. That's fair. And now when you say peak, when you say playoff performance, when you say efficiency, and when you say longevity, those things, like for example, peak, what was the result of your peak? These were my numbers. And in the process of me producing these numbers in my peak, I won the league MVP twice. In the process of my peak, I was all NBA 6 times. In the process of my peak, we went to the NBA finals 3 times and I was finals MVP. So these things matter. Efficiency. So I had an 8-year stretch where I went 50, 35, and 85. Those things matter. I did hear about that. Adam Silver is about to add another 25 players to the top 50 list, which I think is really good for the 75th anniversary, of the NBA. How does the list change? I don't think the list changes much. I think Anthony is now in that. Dwayne Wade is in it. I think Ray Allen is in it. Kevin Garnett is in it. Let's see. We already know that James is in it. We know that Brian is in it. Dirk is in it. I think Dirk's a top 50 player. Let's see. Let's see. That's a good one. Who else? I think Chris Paul is in it. I think Kevin Durant is in it. Let's see. I think no, not yet. Not yet, but I think Kawhi Leonard will. Well, I'm not ready to. I think Steph Curry's in it too. Russell Westbrook is in it. Chris Paul is in it. I think James Harden is in it too. Yes, absolutely. Tim Duncan is absolutely in it. No question about that. Do I think O.J. Simpson deserves another chance? O.J. Simpson is what, 72, 75? Another chance at what? Reggie, whoa. Stop right there. I didn't say Reggie Miller wasn't a top 10 shooting guard. I said he's not a top 5 shooting guard. To say he's not top 10, now that's completely nuts. And there's no way I'll go that far. Oh, you mean OJ Mayo? Okay, I'm sorry. Because I'm looking at it said, do I think OJ Simpson? I'm sorry. OJ Mayo. I mean, if he could still play, yeah. I think Scottie Pippen is a better player than Kawhi Leonard. I do. Iverson is definitely on that list. Vince Carter, Jason Kidd is on that list. Like I said, Chris Paul is on that list. Steve Nash is on that list. I think Chris Bosh is on that list. You got to disagree with me with what? What do you have to disagree with me with? So hang on for a second. Let me. I want to. My man Teak is going to give me his logic on why Reggie Miller is a top 5 shooting guard all time. I'm listening. I think Kawhi is a better scorer than Scottie Pippen. I think Scottie Pippen is a better overall player than Kawhi Leonard, though. I'm listening. T, I'm listening. No, Nicholas, I'm not. The one reason why I don't think the Vikings can overtake the North is one reason and one reason only, and that would be Mr. Kirk Cousins. When the lights get brighter, he shows us who he is. Actually, he did have to lead a team, Rollins. That was in the 93-94 season when Jordan retired. And he finished 3rd in the league in MVP votes. He's the only player in NBA history to lead his team in every major category. That's points, rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks. I think he was second on the team, and he was second on the team in blocks and second in rebounding. He's the only player in NBA history to do that and be on a team that won 55 games or more and not win the league MVP. There's no other player in the history of the NBA who's ever done that, ever. Well, as soon as I get back hot again, MG, then I'll be back in effect. Reggie arguably has a top 3 playoff transition in NBA history. 82, 21 a game, 40 from 3. Okay. So he averaged 21 a game in the 92-93 season. Is that correct? '95, '96. I disagree with the off-ball shot creator. I disagree with that. We can't. Reggie's ability to always shift the offense with his incredible score without dribbling the ball. 90 to 2000, he was 23 a game, 7. All right. They actually should have beat the Knicks in '94 in the Eastern Conference semifinals. I mean, in the Eastern Conference finals. They should have beat them in game 6. When they won game 5, they should have beat them in game 6. But Reggie choked at the strike, and that's why they had to go back to New York, and that's when they lost it. All right, that's fair. I won't fight that. You make a compelling argument, sir. Yes, you do. Reggie Miller birthed guys like Richard Hamilton and Steph Curry. The idea of moving off the basketball. Yeah, he was absolutely elite in that aspect. Yes, he was. Angel, I do think that Paul George can be an MVP candidate because I already know who he is, and this season is going to be very telling. It's just going to compound who he is with Leonard being out. I don't think Leonard's coming back this season. I don't. I think he sits the whole season. I don't think they risk him being out there. I think Chris Bosh. I think Chris Bosh was a little bit better. I think he was a better offensive player, and that helped him out tremendously playing with James. Hmm. That's a very compelling argument about Reggie Miller. Yeah, it is. I don't think he was better than Clyde Drexler, though. When I think about Clyde Drexler's career, I think about his ability in transition to create for other people, his ability in transition to create for himself, his ability in the half court to take over games. Reggie was primarily a long ball shooter. That was Reggie's game. Reggie was great in transition, but he wasn't as good as Drex. Um, he is an elite transition player, no doubt. The difference is what was it the 92-93 season? Didn't they lose in the first round? I think. Yeah, I think they lost in the first round. Love averaged 8 points in the finals. Are you sure? Do I have to go check my numbers? Love averaged 8 points in the 2016 NBA Finals. That's all they got out of him was 8 points a game. They didn't get anything else from him, but 8 points a game. You can also make the argument if you're going to tell me that he only averaged 8 points a game. You do know that in 2013, in Game 7 of the NBA Finals, Chris Bosh had 0 points in that game. Zero. He didn't score a bucket, and they still won. So the long ball comes from a result of shot creating an off-ball movement. I don't know how true that is, but so you think Reggie Miller is a top 10 scorer of all time? Is that what you're telling me? Hmm, that's interesting. 8 points and 7 boards. Ooh. I mean, he did have, I think he had 9 points and 15 boards in Game 7. He did do that. Yeah, he did do that. Ray Allen scored 0 in Game 7 too. You mean Ray Allen, who was in year 16? That Ray Allen, who hit the three to tie the game the night before? That Ray Allen? You think Chris Bosh is better than? You think Chris Bosh is better than Kevin Love? Because I'm not 100% sure of that. I think Kevin Love was a better rebounder. I think he was a better long ball shooter. No, I think Jamal Crawford is washed. That's my. Mm. So if Reggie Miller was this good during this time, and I'm reading the numbers on your stats, why was he never hired in third team All NBA? Why did he never? Because of the numbers that you're giving me, why was he never a top five? And why was he never? I mean, Drex finished second in league MVP votes in that 92-93 season that you're talking about. The year before that, Drex finished second in league MVP votes. What's the highest that Reggie Miller has finished in league MVP votes? Was Reggie Miller ever considered the best two guard in the league ever? Because I can because what I can appreciate is I can appreciate the numbers because I'm a numbers guy. Your numbers tell me who you are, right? And as a result of what you've been doing, this is the result of what you've been doing. This is what your numbers tell me. So when I think about Reggie Miller, was Reggie Miller ever a top? Was he ever considered the best two guard in the league ever? Hmm. Muggsy Bogues and Michael Adams. Is it because they played better? Is it because they played better? Because I'm not going to say that Michael Adams is a better player than Reggie Miller. No, I'm not going to say that at all. What's up, King? How you running, brother? You good? All right. And I won't even go that far. The year that they went to the playoffs, the year that they went to the playoffs against, I mean, I'm sorry, the year they went to the finals in 2000. What was that? That was year four. That was year 13 for Reggie Miller. All right. Did he have a better season than Latrell Sprewell did that year? Because Latrell Sprewell was first team All NBA that year, and Latrell Sprewell was on the All Defensive team that year too. Hmm. Because I know Latrell Sprewell was first team All NBA that year. I think Joe Dumars in the 90, no, not 94. Joe Dumars did not make the All NBA team. I'm asking you a simple question: what did he play better than Latrell Sprewell that year? Because Latrell Sprewell was first team All NBA, and I'm just trying to make sense of when you talk about a guy like Reggie Miller being elite. Well, nobody never said that he wasn't elite. I mean, I do have him as a top 10 shooting guard of all time, but if he was this good, was he ever considered? Was he ever considered the best two guard in the league? Because you put him up against Clyde Drexler. There was a stretch where Clyde Drexler was considered the best. He was in the argument, even though I didn't think so, but he was in the argument as the best two guard in the league. Was Reggie Miller ever in that conversation? Ever? Was there ever a point where we thought Reggie Miller is the best? He is arguably the best two guard in the game, or the second best two guard in the game ever? I peeked my head into that Miami Alabama game yesterday, and Miami looked like they were overmatched. It didn't look close with that game. I don't really watch too much college football. I think the system is flawed. I think that the dynamic of college football is completely off centered. The way they do things there, I'm good. No, Miami didn't look bad. It's just Alabama was that good. What we can't do is we can't discount who Alabama was, and they came in there and they trounced them. You can't convince me that Reggie Miller's a top 5 shooting guard all time. You can't. And not because of the numbers, but because I saw Reggie Miller play. I watched Reggie Miller play. I was around when he was playing. And I was around when he was playing. I was around when Drex was playing. I was around when Jordan was playing. I was around when Bryant was playing. I was around when James Harden was playing. He wasn't better than any of those guys. Any of them. And not just and I see your numbers. I see your numbers as elite. But he wasn't better than any of those guys. In my opinion, he wasn't better than any of those guys. Even if you lost a game in college football, I mean, you can lose a game because Alabama, I think was it 2018 when they ended up going to the national championship, and not only were they not the best team in the country, they weren't the best team in the SEC. Auburn lost to, I think, Georgia in the SEC championship. Auburn lost to Georgia in the SEC championship. So I'm not a huge fan of college football. Well, that's not true because Reggie Miller was the primary scorer on the teams that he was on, so he did have to carry the load. But he just never struck me as the guy who was better than Drexler. He was never better than Dwayne Wade. Hmm. Rick Smits was really good. He wasn't elite, but he was good. He was really good. I'm not an egotistical maniac. I just don't agree with you. I just don't agree with you, T. That's all. I don't think that Reggie Miller is a top 5 player all time. Not because I'm thinking about other things or I'm not giving you the benefit of the doubt. I'm absolutely hearing your points. But I remember Reggie Miller. I was around when Reggie Miller was playing. So I'm sorry. I don't think that he's a top 5 shooting guard all time. No, don't worry about him, Rollins. If he wants to go, he can go. You can take it light, my man. No problem. Absolutely. Take it light. That's where I got him at. I got Reggie Miller at 6. Mm-hmm. What was bold? I haven't heard his new album. I did hear he leaked a there was a there was a leaked song that I heard with Andre 3000 and him. Um, it was kind of dope too. I did dig that. Yes, I did. Well, wait a minute, Matthew. let's not say that, Trey just took them to the Eastern Conference Final. That was a damn good Atlanta team. They had 6 guys averaging in double figures. It wasn't just Trey and a bunch of bums. That's a good Atlanta team. That's a real good Atlanta team. And they've been together for a while too. So let's hold the phone on that. No, I haven't listened to Donda yet. I should probably go check that out though. They had that Atlanta Hawks team was really good. And not only was that Atlanta Hawks team really good, and I've said this in the past, and I'll say it again, there's no reason. Yes, he does. There's no reason why the Philadelphia 70s, Philly had no reason, they had no business losing to the Atlanta Hawks. None. They had no business losing to them dudes, man. None. What's up, KT? Running good, brother. I have to agree that Ben did kill him. Yes, he did. Yeah, I think so. He did kill him, no question. So I do think Drake is one of the best rappers of all times. Yes, I do. I can't. The Sixers have turned down. It seems like the Sixers have turned down so many different trade options that it's pretty incredible to think that he's going to go somewhere and they're going to get the same value. The same value. Rollins is he has the worst free throw percentage of all time. No, he doesn't. That would go to Ben Wallace. So let me ask you this question. What is your criteria for, in terms of a rapper being an all-time great? What's your issue with Drake? Why don't you think Drake is an all-time great? That's what I'd like to know from you. What makes Drake not an all-time great? No, I don't think it's I mean, we are talking about Ben Simmons being he's a two-time All-League defender. He's a two-time All-Star. He only been in the league 4 years. So the problem that we have is that he hasn't improved. I don't have Drake in my top 5 rappers of all time, but I do think he's an all-time great. My top 5 rappers of all time aren't, Drake is not in it, but so let me ask you this question, King. Who are your top 5 rappers of all time? Well, the problem we have in KT is that we've seen him working on his game. That's not news. We've seen that, right? So it's obvious that he's putting in the work. The question is why hasn't it translated? And why hasn't it translated? So the problem is that it's upstairs. He's not trusting the work. He's one of those guys who, as soon as it's not working, he's going the other way and he's reverting right back to what he used to do. Because he's shown that he can shoot the long ball. I've seen him in workouts. So I don't know. I don't think he's better than any of those guys. I won't fight that. Are you going to try to go to any live games this year, football or basketball? Yeah, I will. I'll see. I usually get to but before the pandemic, I mean, I usually get to a Heat game. I don't really bother too much with the Dolphins, except if the 49ers are in town. I'll get down there. The EPL version of the Mets and the Knicks. Biggie's the best that I've ever heard, but the problem with Big is that Big wasn't around long enough. Big only had 2 albums. He's the best that I've ever heard. And I don't think any of those guys that I've heard today could out-rap him. None of them. They don't have his sound, they don't have his style, they don't have his delivery. So the problem with Big is he wasn't around long enough. So it's hard to justify making Big a top 5 rapper all time. Hmm. I mean, it's tough for Pac too because Pac wasn't really around that long. Pac came in '91 and he got killed in '96. But the impact that the impact that him and Big had on the game, I mean, it speaks volumes for who these guys are. So it's tough to leave them out. I mean, because without Big birth, I'm not Big. Without Pac, there's a lot of guys who wouldn't have been around. Oh, Kendrick got 2 albums that contend for best hip hop album ever. Right. And Big got an album that sold 10 million in 1997. What rapper was selling 10 million records 25 years ago? None. Pac made a double CD that went 5 times platinum, and he was alive. Will Smith wasn't doing 10 million. No, he was not. Will Smith was not doing 10 million. No, he wasn't. No, he was not. That's a fact. He does. Nobody has sold more albums than Slim Shady. That's why Slim is definitely in my top 5 rappers all time. Yeah, I did hear about it. Oh. What are your thoughts on DeMar DeRozan on using the mid range and still averaging 20 a game and being the top 30 player in the league? What do you mean? What are my thoughts on him? On using the mid range? That's his game. He's a mid range player, like Rip Hamilton, like Jordan. That's his game. And with that being said, there aren't many guys in the game today with a better mid range game than DeMar DeRozan. Is he a top 30 player in the game? I mean, DeMar DeRozan is 22 a night, and there's no disputing that. I definitely think he's one of the better 2 guards in the game, even still today. So I dig 50 Cent. That's who I think Reggie Miller. I think Michael Porter could be a bigger version of Reggie Miller. That's who I think Michael Porter is. King, why do you have to keep saying my first name? Do you know me or something like that? I'm trying to understand what's going on here. Why do you think Jordan would be horrible from 3? You don't think that that's something? Do you think that I'm not going to say you don't think. Do you think that that's something, because the game is the way it is today, do you think that that's something that he would work on? Which Jordan are we talking about? Are we talking about the 96 Jordan, or are we talking about just Jordan? You don't think that that's something that he would work on to improve? Because James Harden wasn't a long ball shooter when he first came in. There's plenty of guys. Enough with the aggressive thing, man. Listen, this is the way I talk. If you can't dig it, you could go. You could go, my man. So anyway, like I was saying, James Harden wasn't a long ball shooter when he first came in. Jason Kidd wasn't a long ball shooter when he first came in. These are guys who developed that. So do you think that Jordan, with the game being the way it is today, playing 5 out and having to shoot the long ball, do you think that that's something Jordan would have put in his game over the course of his career? I'm just the thing that I'm thinking about. I don't think DeRozan works on his long ball game. I don't. Because if he worked on his long ball game, he would implement it. I think that he's sticking to what works for him. You can't stop me from doing this right here. So because you can't stop me from doing this, I'm not going to stop doing it. And DeRozan shoots the long ball. He just doesn't shoot it as much as these other guys do. He can shoot the long ball, but he sticks to where he's great. I'm great 15 to 19 feet. You can't do nothing with me in that range. And I don't have to shoot the long ball. That's my game. I am, Fuga. I'm ready for the NFL to start. Yeah. I'm interested to see how my 49ers do. I'm kind of interested in Cleveland. I don't know why, but I'm interested in the Cleveland Browns and Baker Mayfield. And I'm interested because for some reason that him and that ODB thing, it's just not working. I don't get it. Man. It was only for 1 year, though, King. It wasn't like the NBA shortened the 3-point line. I mean, the NBA, it was only they moved it in that one season. That was it. And then we got Alonzo Mourning shooting threes, and they was like, "No, we can't do that." So they had to push it back. So I mean, Jimmy G, when he plays, we win. So I mean, he wins 80% of his starts. When he plays, we win. So, and Lance got a broken finger, so that's going to be a problem for him. Man. Mm-hmm. Excuse me for a second, guys. Yo. I hope that ain't true. That is my name. That is correct. I just don't hear people calling me Jermaine a lot. So you are correct. I think Henry is the most bruising back in the game. I think the kid in Carolina might be the best overall back in the game. And I think that Barkley's going to make a case this season for being that dude. Hey, Matthew, I got the Giants. People sleeping on the Giants. I'm not sleeping on them. I'm not sleeping on them at all. I'm not sleeping on the Giants at all. I haven't played fantasy football. I don't really know much about it, and that's probably why I haven't. So so you think Daniel Jones is going to be on the run for his life constantly? So to be honest with you, KT, I think the best destination for Ben Simmons is to work it out in Philadelphia. Man, figure it out, yo. Because just like Joel Embiid said, I mean, he got booed, he got roasted, and he came back better. So, man, figure it out. The Detroit Lions? All right. I'm a Mets fan, Josh. Our season went in the tank when we lost Jake. That's when it went the other way. Oh, I'm snoring on the Steelers, Roscoe. I'm not sleeping on them. I'm snoring on them because you sold it to me last season. You're not getting me again. No. You're not getting me again with them Steelers. Nope. You got me last year. You ain't doing it again. Not happening. Mm-mm. You're not getting me again, yo. Not happening. My top 5 wideouts: uh, Rice, Moss, Owens, Megatron. Who did I have number 5? Hmm. I don't think Julio is top 5. Julio Brown could definitely be in that conversation. Marvin Harrison may very well be in that conversation. I'm still having a hard time with Marvin Harrison being elected into the Pro Football Hall of Fame before Terrell Owens. I had a huge problem with that. Huge problem with that. I do think Cat and D'Lo could be dangerous if they can hold up. It seems like every time I turn around, D'Angelo Russell he ain't hurt like a rolled ankle where he's out of the lineup for a week, or he's got a jammed shoulder and he's out for 2 weeks. He's got injuries where he's out for months. He's got torn ligaments in his wrists and he's out for a month. He's got this going on. He's got that going on. I'm like, man, what's the story with this guy? If he could hold up, because Cat, the reason why, and I love Rudy Gobert, but the reason why Rudy Gobert is on the All NBA team is because Minnesota sucks. If Minnesota was better, Rudy Gobert would not be on the All NBA team. That's Cat spot. So, and I don't like Rudy Gobert. I love Rudy Gobert. I think Rudy Gobert is awesome. So, mm. I think that not in the Western Conference he would make them. It depends on what Portland would have to give up. And no, I don't think the Grizzlies are underrated. They're just young. That's what they are. With Brooks, with Ja. I think this is a big year for Jackson. We got to see if he can hold up. This is a big year for him. No doubt. If they were going to deal CJ, they would have already done it. So, and on top of that, I mean, dealing CJ, we're talking about, I mean, that's 20 a game that's coming out of your lineup. That's 20 a game that's coming out of your lineup. So, and if Anthony Edwards, if he could continue to do what he's doing, if Russell could hold up and Cat do what he do, I think they're going to be a lot better than what they were last year. Simmons cannot give you 25 a game, because if he could give you 25 a game, he would do that. We in year 4, my man. This the second year, third year in a row that he's 16 a game. Maybe this is who he is. That's why I was giving him one more season. For that reason right there. Marvin Bagley is damaged goods, and there's no way that Marvin Bagley is involved in any sort of blockbuster trade, because they can't give him away. Well, let me ask you this, Bo. What exactly is Melo? What's his role on this unit in terms of minutes? How many minutes do you see him playing? I don't think it means much, 29. I just think it adds to the legacy. That's all it does. I think that's all it does. So we're talking 10, 15 minutes a night with Carmelo. And what is he going to give you in those 10, 15 minutes? 8, 10 points? I was thinking between 15 and 25 minutes a night. Larry Bird is better than Magic. I remember you said that. I never said that Larry Bird was better than Magic. What I said was Larry Bird was better than Magic for a stretch, and then Magic became better than Bird. That's what I said. I didn't say Larry Bird was better than Magic all time. So if you're gonna hold me accountable, get the story straight. Bird was better initially, and then Magic became better. Yeah, I do see that. I mean, you saw him. He was last season in Portland, where you figure on this, he didn't come to the Lakers to sit on the bench. So, and they're going to use him for what he's good for, which is buckets. Larry Bird is not better all time. You stop. Just stop. Give me a break. Like it ain't even a question. Like we shouldn't even have this discussion. Bird is just better than Magic. All right, bet. Well, he doesn't have to worry about being a defensive liability because they got rim protectors. You know, Dwight Howard is back there. Anthony Davis is back there. So even though Larry Bird said after they lost to them in '87 in Game 4, on the junior skyhook. Larry Bird said, quote, Magic's just a great player. He's the best I've ever seen, end quote. I mean, I could come up with numbers of what Magic did where, he was 24-12 and 23-11. I could say that. Bird said, quote, he's the best I've ever seen, end quote. Well, like I said, Ultra, I'm in TikTok jail right now, so I haven't really been I haven't been able to post anything, so that's what that's about. The GOAT, LeBron said Bird is better. Bird said Magic was better. What if this person tells you that this person is better than me, but then you hear it from the horse's mouth where you hear Bird say, Magic's just a great player. He's the best I've ever seen, end quote. Bird and Magic were literally best friends? No way. No way. Yeah, that's what's going on, Ultra. I've been in TikTok jail for like over the last week. Bird and Magic were best friends? No, they were not. No, they were not. That is not true, sir. No, he didn't. He said Jordan was Jesus in sneakers. That's what he said. I don't think Bird was better than Magic. So, and I think, and I got Bird as the second best small forward ever. He's in my top 10 players of all time, but I don't think he was better than Magic. No, I didn't like Dennis Rodman back in the day. I hated Dennis Rodman. I couldn't stand the sight. Him, Bill Laimbeer, all of those guys. Yes. Larry over KD. Larry was a better player than Kevin Durant. Yes, he was. Yes, he is. No, I don't think Kevin Durant would be the best player in the 80s, given his skill set. Well, again, top 3 rebounders of all time. Oh, that's simple. That's Chamberlain, Russell, and Jabbar. Now, pound for pound, Dennis Rodman is the best rebounder ever in the history of the NBA. Better than Moses, better than Chamberlain. In the history of the NBA, pound for pound, he's the best ever. I mean, he did lead the league. See what I'm talking about here? We've never seen a scorer, a 7-foot scorer like KD. So if KD is so awesome as a scorer, right? If he's so awesome, we're going into year 15 with Kevin Durant. All right? This is year 15 that we're going into. You know he's not in the top 25 all time in scoring. We're going into year 15 with Kevin Durant. He led the league in scoring 4 times. So when I hear when I hear this about Kevin Durant, if he's the greatest scorer, because we're talking about levels. Kevin Durant's got the mid-range game that he's got at that size, at that with that ability to score, at that size and that ability to handle. Why hasn't he done it more? Why isn't he 30 a game, 35 a game for his career? I'm listening, Keyshawn. I'm all ears. KD gives Larry 40. So, and what does Larry do? If that's true, I'm listening, Keyshawn. One more time, 2,900 for the people in the cheap seats. How many 60-point games does KD have? He is 27 a game. He is 27 a game. You know who else is 27 a game? LeBron James. Nobody could stop KD. There's plenty, but that's not an argument because there's plenty of guys who can't be stopped. Carmelo Anthony couldn't be stopped. Kobe can't be stopped. Tracy McGrady couldn't be stopped. There's plenty of guys who you can't stop. Right, Zay, but exactly, Zay. But if I let them tell it, he's the greatest scorer ever. Nova, it's not the Skins no more. It's the Washington football team. I know, and I've made that mistake recently too, so I know where you at with it. If that's true, Hoops, you know who else got to be? You know who else got to be in that argument? Oscar Robertson, because you are aware that for 8 straight seasons, Oscar Robertson averaged 30 a game. 30. KD played in 14-15. He got hurt. Okay, first of all, let's backtrack. He was not out the 14-15 season. No, he wasn't. He got hurt in the middle of the season. So it wasn't like KD missed the entire 14-15 season. No, he did not. KD always had another scorer on his team, which should have helped him even more because the guy that he played with when he played with Russell Westbrook, I mean, Russell Westbrook did average 8 assists when he was running with KD. So he was a facilitator. I do think Dame is more clutch than Kyrie Irving. Yes, I do. I don't think 85 Bird is the best Bird. I actually think 87, 88 Bird. The year after he won the league MVP. Go look that dude up. Yeah. I know 85, 86, 85 Bird was awesome. Go look up the dude who didn't win the league MVP in 87, 88. That Bird. Yeah, go look up 87, 88. Go look up 87, 88 Bird. 86 Bird was incredible. 86 Bird wasn't good. 86 Bird wasn't great. 86 Bird was incredible. I actually thought it was hard for me. I mean, I know Jordan won the league MVP in 88, but I thought Bird should have won it that year. Even though Jordan did win Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, Bird went 50, 40, 90 that year. He went 30 and almost 10. And he made the All-League defensive team that year, too. Rollins, you wow with that one. KD does not eat Bird's lunch. No, he does not. Mm-mm. No, he does not. Take it light, Rev. Good to see you, brother. Nicholas, what makes Clay a better player than James Harden overall? Where is the edge? Where are you giving Clay the edge over James Harden? Because usually when you're talking about great players head to head, there's always something that makes this guy go here over this guy. So where's the edge? My top 5 greatest teams of all time. It's a good one. Let's see. The 91-92 Bulls, 87, 86, 87 Lakers, 95, 96 Bulls, 12, 13 Heat, You honestly think that the Warriors, the 73 win Warriors, are one of the greatest teams of all time? You think they are? Do you think that that's an all time great team? I don't. That's the other one. That 2000 2001 Laker team. At their roles. If you have a better chance, you have a better chance to win with Clay. Mm-hmm. Actually, Rollins, you can ignore the dominance. And the reason why you can ignore the dominance is because they didn't win. For that reason, right there. For that reason, right there, you can ignore the dominance because they didn't win. All of that was for nothing because if they would have won it, they go to the top of the list. But because they didn't win it, and not only did they not win it, for them relinquishing a 3-1 lead in the NBA Finals, for that reason right there, you have to ignore the dominance. That trumps what they did. I guess I'm delusional then, King. I'm absolutely delusional if I think because there's no way that I think that Warriors team in 2016-17 is the greatest team of all times. No, I do not think that. No, I don't. You stop. You've never seen a James Harden playoff game talked about more than Clay in 2016 versus the Thunder. You can make an argument for that 17 team. The problem that I have with that 17 team is I thought that hold on for a second, Hoops. The problem that I had with that 17 team was people downplayed what Kawhi did with the Raptors because the Warriors got hurt, only except they discredit. I mean, they discredit him for what he did with the Raptors when the Warriors got hurt. Only they don't discredit the 17 team when Leonard got hurt. That 19 team was not an all-time great team. I don't think so. I think that they were a great team. Now, to answer your question about the 92 Bulls over the 96 Bulls, I think that that was the best version. Because at that point in 1992, that team had been together with Paxson and Jordan, Pippen, B.J. Armstrong, Horace Grant, Bill Carr. That team had been together a grand total of 6 years. I mean, Paxson had been there for 8 years. Horace Grant and Scottie Pippen had been there for 5 years. BJ had been there for 3 years. That team had been together for a long time, and that was the best version of that team. I mean, they won 67 games that year. 67 games that year, and they were awesome. And that was the best version of Jordan, too. Hmm. So now we're doing the what ifs, King. So what if Kawhi Leonard doesn't get hurt in that game one when they got them down 20 in the third quarter in the Western Conference Finals? I think Ben Simmons is better than Eric Snow. Hmm. Yeah. Wait a minute. I'm trying to understand what am I on in the past? I think the 2012, 2013 Miami Heat is one of the best teams that I've ever seen. Ever. They won 27 straight games, 28 straight games, won the NBA championship that year. I think that was the best version of LeBron. What am I on? What am I on in terms of being in the past? I don't understand. Well, the problem that we're having with that random is that we're not talking about individual guys. We're talking about a team's success. And if you're an all-time great team, in order to be put in the same category with another all-time great team, you have to, at minimum, match what they did. At minimum, I got to match what y'all did. So if you didn't win the NBA championship, you can't be put in the same category as an all-time great team. You can't. As a team, this is why. This is the same reason why I don't have Karl Malone as my top in the top five. For that reason right there, because he didn't win the NBA championship. The guys who are in that, they did. I got the 91-92 Bulls team, which was a great team. I got the 12-13 Heat, which was also a great team. Yeah, I do think James Harden is better than Gilbert Arenas. Rings are a team accomplishment. They're obligated by the team's success. So using the logic of Malone isn't top 10 because he doesn't win a ring. I disagree with. All right, so let's take that. So let's take Malone out of it. All right. So when we're talking about a great team, what do you have to be? Are there levels for being a great team? And what puts you in the elite category of being a great team? So when you talk about great teams, what puts you in that category? So what do you think the Knicks are going to be? Stack, say it one more time for the people in the cheap seats. I think you said winning a championship and dominating the competition. Hence the term winning a championship. James Harden's bigger than Gilbert Arenas. I think he's a better scorer than Gilbert Arenas. He's a better long ball shooter than Gilbert Arenas. He's a better facilitator than Gilbert Arenas. He's a better passer than Gilbert Arenas. So what lot? I'm trying to understand. Wait a minute, Random. Let's get back to this. Wait a minute. When we're talking about a team, we're talking about you being a great team, right? If you're a great team and you think that Warriors team, that 15-16 team that won 73 games, they're a top 5 team all time. Do you think that? Even though they didn't win the NBA championship and the other teams did, and not only did they win the NBA championship, they relinquished a 3-1 lead. So they went to pieces when it mattered the most. It's rule alert. Let's do that in. Joe. Yeah, it's about that time. Yeah. Randall is overrated. So, all right, guys. It's about that time. I'm probably gonna get with you guys probably Tuesday. No, not Tuesday. Wednesday. Sometime I'll probably get with you guys later on this week, and we'll chop it up some more. So until then, take it light, but take it.